The Unsigned Podcast.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Unsigned Podcast. I am joined by Aisha.
Hello.
How you doing, alright?
I didn't expect that to be that loud.
Yeah, sorry, it's quite loud, yeah. Talking about your eating habits.
No, I don't have weird eating habits. I just like to watch cooking programs while I'm eating so I don't get hungry.
Is it because you're worried if you watch them after you've eaten, you want to eat again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
also,
you only watch like Bake Off at dinner time?
Yeah, and then I don't crave food because then I'm like, oh, I'm eating, so I'm fine.
Right.
And then I get hungry if I'm not eating and I'm watching like them make delicious food. I'm like, oh, I want that.
Yeah, no, I get a bit
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get a bit like that. If we've watched, I don't know, like we don't watch that many sort of cooking programs, but like when we have done,
Yeah.
I do get a bit like, well, I just get greedy to be honest, because we have dinner quite early because obviously we've got like the two little ones and that.
Yeah.
So we end up having dinner at like 5:30. So by like 8, 9 o'clock, once they're in bed, I'm sort of, like great. I had like...
Graze like a gazelle, as they say.
Well, I'm not. I don't feel like a gazelle at the moment. Warthog. But I had like nearly half a pack of custard creams yesterday.
Oh, what? See, right. Okay, let's just settle this debate because I think, and this is a controversial opinion now,
Go on.
I think custard creams are overrated. Don't at me. Don't at me. I prefer a bourbon. I prefer a bourbon or a nice because it's coconutty. I feel like custard creams, it's cardboardy. It's just empty sugar.
It depends where you're getting them from. If they're like proper
custard
then
creams.
fine. But if they're like Tesco own or Aldi own or whatever.
They're even worse. But
Yeah.
actual custard creams, no, I don't rate them. I just think they taste like cardboard with loads of sugar in. It's just no flavour. Like bourbon's got like a rich chocolatey flavour, and then you've got nice biscuits which is coconutty. But custard creams, I'm sorry, I'm probably the only one on this planet who doesn't really.
Yeah, no,
like
custard
them.
creams are banging.
No.
You're wrong.
No.
Charlotte had bourbons and I had custard creams, but whatever. This is quality podcasting. This is nothing to do with music, so we're going to move on. How's your week been?
Yeah.
Well, we're a couple of weeks since we've seen each other. Because
Yeah.
we had a great Leslie, didn't we? 2 weeks
Yes,
ago.
we did. Yeah, it's been good. Been keeping busy.
Yeah.
I went to an event yesterday. I'm allowed to
You can
mention
discuss
it?
whatever you want. You know where this goes.
Yeah, so I went to an event yesterday in Mayfair and I saw Michael Jackson's nephew. So it was an evening with TJ Jackson from 3T, the boy band. So he was there doing like meets and greets and stuff. And yeah, that's where I was last night. And it was a nice evening.
I had an early night and watched Love Island, so that was my evening. It was good though, right?
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, there was one. I'm going to mention the story because it's quite
You
funny.
crack on.
So obviously loads of people were getting pictures with him and I was, waiting to get pictures. There's a lot of press around him, a lot of photographers. I was being very courteous and, I'd wait, let people do their thing. And this girl behind me acknowledged I was in front of her and she even tapped me behind. She was quite a short girl and she goes, oh, you're in front of me. I said, yeah, I'm just waiting for them to be done. Like, I'm just going to take a quick picture. I won't be long. She was a small girl, but my God, she was mighty. She elbowed me out the way. She literally like knocked me down. I was wearing a spaghetti strap dress, no bra, and my boob nearly flopped out in front of Michael Jackson's nephew. Luckily it didn't.
We've all been there.
Luckily it didn't. And like there was a guy who I made friends with who was part of the press, and he looked at me and he gave me this look like, "Are you okay?" And he even got scared of her, like, "Oh my God!" But yeah. That happened.
Oh, mate.
And I survived.
That is terrible. That's not the only equivalent story. I've never fallen over and something fall out of me.
Nothing fell out. It almost
fell out.
But could you imagine?
That would, as much as that guy, because you said he was a photographer, right?
Yeah.
As much as he was your friend on that night, I imagine that if that happened, there would be photos.
That would have been gold. I know. It would have been gold, but I kind of like balanced myself up. But I was like, bloody hell, this girl just rushed past me, even though I was in front of her and she acknowledged me. But yeah, some people
are just weird, mate. Like I think when it comes down to it, it doesn't take anything to be polite, does it? And
No.
wait your turn. And I think as a Brit, I think we're quite good at queuing. So you'd think that people would be better.
Oh,
at
we
that.
are so passive when it comes to queuing. Oh, like sorry. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she wasn't, was she? She had her elbows out, knocking you over.
Yeah, it was just it was carnage.
Carnage. But it sounds like you had a nice evening anyway.
Yeah, it was lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, good. What else you been up to? Because you've got a new show coming up, haven't you, on a certain
Yes.
station? So how's prep going for that?
Prep is going really well.
Yeah.
they're going to be live on the 30th of July.
Right.
Am I allowed to mention it? Or?
But maybe not the station.
Okay, well, I
so-
won't mention the station, but if you follow me, then you'll know the
Yeah.
news in a few weeks' time. But I also did a podcast recording last Sunday with a model who has trichotillomania, which is a condition where you pull your hair out, and it's like alopecia, but like it's a repetitive disorder where you pull your hair out from stress. So she hasn't got any eyebrows or any hair, and we're talking about advocating for mental health and her modelling experience. And that was recorded last week, so that should be out soon. But that was a really
cool.
great chat.
Yeah. It's nice to do stuff like that. I think with the, spreading awareness for mental health is massive for us. Obviously, as people know, we're sponsored by Mates, which is Mental Health Awareness for Educational Speaking. I've been an ambassador for them for a couple of years now. And it's something that's very close to my heart. You can go and check them out at weareyourmates.com. So it's all good, like trying to spread the awareness for mental health, because there's so many different aspects to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and there's so many people out there that probably, like the lady you spoke to, it's probably going to help a lot of people because there's probably not that much awareness around that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So she advocates a lot of it, and it comes down to anxiety and stress, which people obviously have who don't know about trichotillomania because it isn't a disorder that's widely spoken about. People just assume it's alopecia. She tells me stories where people assume that she's got cancer, and they're like saying, "I'll pray for you" and stuff. And she started at a really young age, and obviously when you're young and you're going through that, it's very daunting when your hormones are all over the place anyway. But it all comes down to like mental health related stuff and just like advocating that, creating an awareness and making other people know. Like, actually, what I learned from that is BFRB, which is the condition, like body repetitive behaviors. It's actually so common. Like, when you're stressed, do you do things that you don't realize? Like, do you tap? Do you knee jerk?
Knee jerk usually.
Yeah. So when I'm stressed, I pick my lip. Like, I bite my lip when I'm stressed, or if I'm like concentrating. That's on the spectrum of it. It's like with all mental health illnesses, they're all on a spectrum. It depends how severe it is. So mine probably isn't as severe as pulling my hair out, but when I do get stressed, I do bite and pick my lip.
Right.
But when it's really bad, it probably does bleed. But I don't like pull my hair out. But some people do. Like my mum, sometimes she twiddles her hair a lot. Like, that is the same condition, but obviously not on that spectrum. And it's the same with anxiety and depression. Like, it all goes down on the spectrum as well.
Yeah, I think I've got experience with anxiety and depression, and it's personally, and obviously, I've discussed it before on the podcast. It's a big part of my life and my family's life, and I think it's one of those things that, obviously, we're a music podcast essentially, but we want to spread awareness for all good causes, and there's going to be plenty of people that come on this podcast or watch it and who are all going through their own issues, and guess what? Even the people that are hosting it go through their own issues. So we're all in it together really. But like I say, there's plenty of great groups out there, like Andy's Man Club, Mates, as I've discussed. Like, there's Run Free in Southend where you're from as well. So there's loads of great places and loads of great groups. So there's definitely help out there. Right, so
kind of leads us to the next thing, doesn't it?
Well, it does, yeah. So being a part of Mates, I'm really looking forward to getting our guest in today. It's Paul Jones. I actually met him via Mates, and we've done Snowdon together and stuff like that. So he's his artist name is Pieces, and he's coming on to discuss his journey, and obviously we'll go through all that sort of usual stuff in the beginning, introducing him to you guys, and also we'll do his dream gig in section 3 as well. So really looking forward to that. But yeah, like I said, a couple of weeks ago we had the great Leslie in. How did you find that? It was your first time on the podcast, wasn't it?
It was my first time co-hosting.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Really, really enjoyed it, and I was very flattered that I was asked to co-host. But yeah, that was I think it felt so natural and authentic. 'Cause it didn't feel like a podcast. It was like a normal chat, and it was very funny. So if you have watched it back, make sure you do get on Patreon and
subscribe.
Subscribe. It is a good episode, but yeah, we kind of like delved into like what they were like.
It was just funny, wasn't it? I mean, it was probably the most I've laughed on an episode because it was just like, they were just naughty, weren't they?
Yeah.
And it was nice to get them in because, like I said, we spoke to them quite a lot over via Instagram and all that. Everything these days is done via Instagram, isn't it?
Instagram brings people together.
It does, doesn't it?
Really
it more so than the other platforms. I find I don't like with posting stuff for like Unsigned or myself or Future Hits or whatever. I always find that like there's more engagement on Instagram than anywhere else. Like,
I totally agree.
We've started posting like some TikTok videos and that of like previews of shout out Joel, by the way, our new editor. Shout out Joel. Basically like he edits some TikTok videos for us that we put online And I do them quite sporadically, sort of, because we've got quite a few. Obviously, we've got them from every episode we've pretty much done. But we just want to release them as and when, generate a bit of interest here and there. I'm not doing it like every day because I don't want to bombard people too much. But he's edited those for us. But they seem to get on TikTok. They sort of, the first video I put up got like quite a lot of views, and then I think a day or two later I posted a reasonably similar video. It was of the same same podcast, but it was a different subject within that. And it hardly touched the sites.
The algorithm works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I always find that Instagram just seems to do better.
But sometimes even with Instagram, the algorithm is completely out of whack as well. Sometimes.
But I don't understand what would make it go bigger. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, the thing is for me, the main thing for obviously the podcast is trying to promote emerging artists, trying to promote the podcast, and hopefully so we can do our own events and all that sort of stuff. So it's all a platform for these people to come on and tell us a bit about themselves and stuff like that, right? But we want to generate more people to watch, be a part of it, people to go on the Patreon, see all the exclusive stuff, whatever. And then when the radio is there, and then people can get involved with that as well. And it's like, you want to build this community, but it's and obviously I know things take time, but it's funny sometimes how like what I was saying about the Great Leslie episode, like I thought like that was hilarious for us. And I thought it was really good. And it's sort of funny when I look back at the episode so far, and you look, or even Instagram posts, you look at it and go, oh, I thought that one would do quite well, and it's not, and it's been a bit slower than something else. I just don't quite understand.
It could be a slow burner.
Yeah.
Just wait and see.
No, I know. I'm not putting pressure on it, but I think there are times where you sort of think like, oh, that's quite good, or it doesn't, or there's something.
But that's the most important thing. If you're enjoying it in the moment, because then it's more worthwhile. Like,
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I think that's the whole point of it, isn't it? I mean, we're enjoying doing this. Everyone I've had on co-hosting or guest has enjoyed being a part of it. People are watching, so thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Subscribe's the main thing.
It's
Make sure you subscribe.
And the below bit. Do I do the pointy bit?
Yeah, I can't remember where it is. It's over there somewhere. But subscribe, because it obviously does help. And obviously, if you want to go and look, so all of our videos now from the events that we've done at Chelmsford and Southend are now online. They're all on Patreon. They probably will go on YouTube at some point, but probably not for a few weeks, because we want to give our patrons, the exclusive content first, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to go up soon. Percy Productions filmed and edited it all. So thank you very much to Jake for that. And it was great sort of watching them all back. And now we've also got all of the sets from the artists all up there as well now. I think there's a couple more to go up, but by the time this goes out, everything should be up there by now. So it's great to go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
Because it was not just like the evening itself, it was the bits in between, and the video from the behind the scenes stuff's great. So we've got some more ideas about what we want to do on the next event. And I would like to do more, because I sort of think that like showcasing, the people that have been involved with the podcast and people that have been involved with the radio show and the station and stuff, I think it's like the natural, like not natural progression, but the next thing to get more events running and become a regular thing.
It brings people together as well, which is almost important as well, like the whole thing, like you're kind of playing them their music, giving them a platform, but it brings everyone together, and I think that's gets it worthwhile.
It is, because it's nice meeting them all. Do you know what I mean? Like, we found, like, just doing this, like, all right, we're on the 10th episode. That's a milestone, isn't it? 10 episodes, is that a milestone? We'll take it.
It's a big number, double digits.
So we'll take that. 11 including the preview, but we won't go into that. So 10 episodes is pretty good, and it's nice to meet all of the people that we've had on so far. And I'm looking forward to, we've got loads of guests lined up from now until September time, basically. So we've got, demand for people to come on, which is fantastic.
Stacked, yeah.
Yeah, but it's really nice to be able to do the events as well. We've only done a couple, but getting to meet the artists and their families and the friends, and seeing them perform live as well is,
it kind of puts a
massive.
name to the voice, and it makes them more human and like relatable, because then you get to know them as a person. It's more like, personable. Yeah. So I think that's always so important.
It's brilliant. I mean, like, for example, like the guys from the Lucetters, like I've been speaking to them since I met them at the gig that they've done for us in Chelmsford. I've spoken to them so much, and they've been so helpful with other things, and it's nice just to you just like start sort of generating friendships with these people, and it is really cool, because like I've said a few times on this, we're all in this together. We're trying to build this and ourselves and the platform and all that, and they're trying to build themselves up as artists. So it's all about helping each other. And I think when it's what I've learned in doing this for, all right, I've been doing my radio show as Unsigned for, what are we now? Like 7.5 months, nearly 8 months. And I've found doing the podcast as sort of underlined this for me, that it is all about helping each other. And there are certain people that I find, like a lot of people that have been involved with the show and the podcast are all on that vibe.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to help each other. Everyone's trying
That's what makes it more
promote each
worthwhile,
other.
because it makes it easy. It doesn't feel like work then when you get along with other people and you're enjoying what you do.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. You don't want to do a job where you feel alienated in any way, or you feel like you're not enjoying it. It doesn't feel like work. This doesn't feel like work because it's fun. Everyone's passionate. Everyone's, stuck in, hands-on, wants to help out. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think so. I think when you find, we've talked about it with some of the artists who have been on, and they've said, who are in it for themselves, and that's it, and they'll step on other people's toes. And if people are like that, that's totally up to them. Like, you've got to, but I think the dog eat dog thing doesn't really work. I think that I think it's a small, bearing in mind, I'm a very, very small fish in this pond. And you can already tell that the people that are doing well are the people that want to help and to bring people up with them. It isn't a case of, well, I've done that, fuck you.
No,
right.
It's the whole point of this journey, whatever you do, whatever road you take, or whether it be media or anything, any sort of role, is to bring people up with you. That's how you succeed. When you succeed as a person, you succeed if you help the other people around you. Yeah. That's how
I think so.
I see it.
No, I agree. I completely agree. I can't remember who quoted it.
I'm trying to figure out the quote as well.
Which one?
About on the lines of what I've just said. There's a quote for it, but I'm trying to dig deep in my brain.
It's something along the lines of, I don't think it's the same thing, but it was basically, there was a quote from, I want to say Matthew McConaughey or someone, I can't remember. I don't think it is. It might be someone like that. But it was basically a case of, I speak to the CEO of the firm exactly the same way as I speak to the person making the tea. Do you know what I mean?
That's exactly it. Like, my dad's brought me up like that as well. Yeah. Like, he would never talk down to someone just because they are an integral part of the whole thing as well. Like, treat everyone on a same level playing field. Yeah, definitely. And then that way you succeed.
They're going to be people that step on others to try and get themselves up that ladder even quicker. It's never been what I've been wanted to do or anything like that. I'd be horrified if anyone ever thought that of me. And I think that when we come to obviously what we're doing in the background with like Future Hits and with the podcast and Unsigned and all that, it's about all being a part of it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the whole thing. Like, we've got our group chat with doing stuff for the radio. And I love it when people bring in other ideas because I've been doing Unsigned on my own for 8 months and 7-8 months. So all of the ideas are on Unsigned have been my ideas. So when I have conversations with you or Lizzie or or Abby or whatever or Rob or Grace or Freddie, then it's, do you know what I mean? It's nice to have that extra input because it isn't a case of right, well, this is my thing. But
multiple minds are better than one, because then you get someone else's perspective on things and other people's ideas, and then you just bring it all together, mix it all up in a big soup. Idea soup.
Soup?
Yeah, like bring all the ideas together. Yeah, like an idea soup.
Yeah, no. Well, I think it's good. I like having different. It's nice to have. So basically, if you don't know, we've got our own sort of station coming, which is going to be online and on Alexa and stuff, which is Future Hits, where we're playing all of the stuff we've ever had on Unsigned, and we're playing that 24/7. We've got a few shows that are going on there as well, including Aisha and a few of the other co-hosts that we've had on as well. And
am I allowed to say my show name?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah,
it's Frequencies with Aisha.
It is, which is going to be like officially announced on Friday on Instagram. So
was it Friday? Or
it might be Saturday actually. When's your
Sunday?
Oh, Sunday. Yeah. At least you know.
He's eager.
I am eager. But yeah, so that would be good. I'm looking forward to all of that stuff because it's the next step on the Unsigned ladder.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's literally just playing. I mean, so far, like I had a little look earlier, and we've had since the start of Unsigned, we've had about 320 tracks submitted.
Wow.
Now on most stations, I think the average rotation is about 300, 350. So we're right in the ballpark of like a standard station. Do you know what I mean? So it's
brilliant.
It is good. So yeah, if people want to be involved with that, you can email us at hello@unsignedmusic.uk or hello@futurehits.co.uk. You know, we're around. We're here. We're all on the socials and that as well. So hit us up. Yeah, why not? Right, so as I mentioned, we have got loads of stuff on Patreon. If you want to go and look at the videos from the events we've done, listen to the audio, it's all available now. £1 a month currently. Go and grab those while you can. Obviously, you know, with doing the podcast, doing the show, doing the station, doing the events, it all costs something, and we want to try and put back into the Unsigned brand. So yeah, if you want to be a part of that, join up on there. That would be great. And the new episodes for this are now going out publicly on Mondays. We were doing it on Saturdays, but it was just too much within trying to edit everything and getting it up and all that. So we're putting them out on Patreon on Fridays, publicly on Mondays. So they're available for you to watch on YouTube, as you know, and on all audio streaming platforms as well. So it's available everywhere. So get involved with it. But also, just subscribe for us because it really does sort of help us out. We're trying to build up our community and we'd love you to be a part of it. Yeah. Anything to add to that?
Well, I think that was very self-explanatory.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying.
Hit the nail there with that.
Certainly trying my best. So yeah, go and subscribe to that. It'd be great to get that involved. We've also got, just kicking back to Future Hits slightly, we've got Artist of the Week that's out at the moment, which by the time this goes out might not be quite relevant because it will go out on the Monday. But last week, or if you're a patron, you'll know, the Jungle Cats with Creatures is our Artist of the Week, which is really good. A-list tracks are available every Monday, so you can see if you've got yourself on the A-list. And what else can we discuss via that medium? New shows coming soon. Rob and Ollie have got a show. They're going starting on Monday.
Loads of exciting things happening. And if you don't know, subscribe, follow, and check it out.
Check it out. Also, hopefully an event coming soon as well. But
yeah, that's under wraps until we...
Yeah, until we know exactly when we're doing it. Can't decide on a day. Right. We're going to have a break and we're going to go get a drink and then we are going to get Paul into the studio, also known as Pieces, and we will see you in section 2. Hi guys, welcome to the Unsigned podcast. One of our partners is Mates, which is mental health awareness through educational speaking. I'm lucky enough to be an ambassador for Mates. If you want to go to their website, if you want any support or any information about what they do, it's weareyourmates.com. They're a peer-to-peer support group and they're based in Chelmsford in Essex. They do walks and talks, but they've got a Facebook group as well. So that is a shout out for Mates. Weareyourmates.com for more information.
The Unsigned Podcast.
Hi everyone, welcome back to section 2. We are joined by Paul Jones, also known as Pieces.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Hello, welcome. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. It's hot though, isn't it?
It is warm.
It's fucking hot.
It is hot in here and all.
Yeah.
Like we can't exactly open the door because there's other suites around as well, so you can hear everything.
Especially with all the lights as well.
Although when we popped out to go and get coffee, it started raining.
Yeah, but it's still got that humidity
horrible.
in the air. So it's like, it's going to get hotter this weekend, so brace yourselves, everyone.
I literally sat in the car before you got to me and I had the air conditioning on full blast for like 20 minutes because you were late. Full blast,
Traffic
trying to cool
reasons.
it down. Trying to cool it down. It was horrible. Yeah, thank you very much for coming in. It's lovely to have you. I sort of discussed in the first section that we've known each other for a couple of years and that via Mates, which is the mental health group we're both a part of. But it's not. We wanted to get you in because you have also uploaded music to my Unsigned show as Pieces. So I wanted to get a bit of an introduction to that because it's quite a new project, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, where do I start? I mean, I've always been a sort of musician.
Yeah.
Like self-taught guitarist from like the age of 13, 14. But I played in a few bands and stuff when I was a kid, but I never really took it that seriously. And I suppose other stuff just gets in the way, like you know, like a career or whatever. And I suppose when COVID hit first time round, so March 2020, it was one of those things that I'd always said to myself, like, I've got to give it a go. I really want to just try and do it properly. And because it's one of those things that on your deathbed, it's like, that's the one thing I would regret. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think I could have been good enough. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I suppose I've been through a lot over the past, 6 or 7 years. Yeah. And I feel like I'm in a place now where maybe I'm finally adulting enough.
Right.
I've got my shit together and I feel like the stuff I've experienced over the past 7 years gave me enough to talk about, and I felt like I had some, like the songs just came naturally. Do you know what I mean? I was just writing at home just because I just enjoy sitting and playing my guitar, and I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to put this shit out. Yeah.
Well, definitely. I think the thing, does it, being the fact that you're 7 years into it, do you think that now you're in a place where it becomes quite a therapeutic process for you to sort of go through what has happened over the past 7 years to then put that on, and it gives you a bit of that therapy almost? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it is. Yeah. It's therapy. Do you know what I mean? In a fucked up way. It's like we know how important it is to talk about mental health problems and to talk to your friends about what's going on in your life and not just skip over stuff and like, oh, how are you? Oh, yeah, I'm good, mate.
Yeah, you?
Oh, I'm fucking dying inside, but I just say, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
But all of that stuff, you know, to be able to put it into song form.
It's more cathartic, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because you can convey more feelings and emotions which you normally otherwise wouldn't with your friends.
Yeah.
So it's more raw, would you say, when you write your songs?
Absolutely. I think some. It's weird as well because the songs I wrote, like the songs I enjoyed playing when I was like a kid, was all sort of like indie rock. Do you know what I mean? And actually quite a lot of really mellow acoustic stuff. But what I've written, like it's turned into like punk, electronic. Like I don't know what the genre is, but it's fucking heavy. Do you know what I mean? It's bastard heavy.
Bastard heavy.
Not heard that. So.
But it's all rooted in rock, so I would still call it rock music.
Oh, I definitely would put it as that.
It's all rooted in like bastard heavy rock riffs, but it's just got a bit more about it, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm really happy you've uploaded the 2 tracks, Soul and RP and Likes, isn't it? That you uploaded to us. What inspired the name Pieces?
Yeah, well, just for Pieces, my mate Mick actually chose the name, and I think one of the things about like putting your music out there is quite a terrifying thing. Like you're
putting your soul on the line.
Like and you know, it's weird. Like the music industry in general, it's full of all these like insecure people that are writing these songs that are literally from their heart and soul, and they fucking put them out to be criticised by the world, and they're probably not geared up to cope with that. But I've forgotten. What was the original question?
Inspired for Pieces.
So what was it? So the name Pieces. I think I mean, obviously, I've made a decision that I wanted to put some shit out because I was proud of it.
Yeah.
But I procrastinated over a band artist name for ages and ages.
Yeah.
And in the end, my mate just said Pieces. And I thought, you know what, fuck it. I've just spent too long. Like that was almost holding me back a bit.
Yeah.
And Pieces to me, I think it's a reflection of, you know, where I've come from. Like it works on so many levels. Like, you know, I've been picking up the pieces of my life.
It's almost metaphorical as well.
100%, yeah.
The music's a piece of me, do you know what I mean? And we're talking about the pieces of your mind that you're trying to come to terms with or to understand to start trying, you know, get control of your life. So yeah, that's where Pieces comes from.
I think it's very. I always, when I was preparing for the interview, I sort of thought that it was a very good, like metaphor, like you said, to piecing yourself back together, because I know
it's ambiguous. It can mean anything.
It can mean anything. Like, lots of different meanings.
Yeah, a lot of ambiguous meaning behind it.
Yeah,
very symbolic.
And your friend, what was your friend's name?
Mick.
Shout out Mick.
Yeah.
Shout out, big up Mick.
What other ones were you procrastinating over then? Was there other options?
Are you allowed to say that? Are you? You say the other names?
Yeah, do you know what? I can't really remember off the top of my head.
It's funny how sort of band names come about, or artist names, because we had we had Anna in last week, Fur, right, and she was saying that she just liked the name and that's why she done it. And some people have got really sort of a lot of meaning behind their names, and people just pick them out of a hat. Like some of the bands we've had, they're like, quite liked it. That's what we chose. That's what we went with. It's like, but your one definitely seems to have a lot of meaning behind it as well.
Yeah. And I think, I can't remember any other examples, but like I just basically took a bunch of words that I liked or thought was cool, and then I put two together, and then you find something you like, and then you sort of like go on Spotify and you're like, oh shit, there's already a band called that. In fact, there's already 3 bands called that.
Yeah.
So like, and even Pieces, there's still artists out
there. But
there
it's actually
called
good. It works with your name because it's like Paul from Pieces. It's like alliteration.
Well, yeah, I didn't.
It's like PP.
Yeah.
I think that was more luck than judgment, wasn't it? I've had that where I've actually tagged, not with you, but I've actually, when I've done like posts for Unsigned, where there's some band names are quite similar, I have tagged the wrong one in before.
Oh no.
And I've had a band say to me,
that's not us.
That's not us. You need to like, and that's why now on our jot form that we have, it actually has like put your Instagram link in so I can't fuck it up basically.
Yeah, basically. Just
I don't want to tag the wrong people in it.
Well, it happened to me as well. Like the first couple of the first couple of songs on other streaming platforms would just link to another random artist called Pieces.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I think that go through all this rigmarole of like trying to get it affiliated with your profile. It's just a
pain in the arse.
Yeah.
I've got I have had one thing with your one because for some reason it does like go and refer. I'm not sure how. I guess it's algorithms again. I'm not 100% sure. It's probably not the right term.
Always
for
blame the algorithm.
I'm not sure it's the right term. But so basically with our new station that we've got, right, Future Hits, when I've uploaded all of the tracks I've ever had for Unsigned and put them on there, So what happens is when you look on the app or on the website or whatever, it has the artwork for the artist. And I think yours does come up as something slightly different. So I need to go into the streaming bit, the streaming platform or whatever it is, and actually rip out that artwork and put yours in. But I need to figure out how to do it. But there are clashes with stuff like that because it must be quite difficult for them to figure out exactly where it's supposed to come from, I guess.
Yeah.
Not too sure. Anyway, let's talk about your tracks that you have released. So you've released 2 as pieces, right? So the first one was Soul.
Yeah, so first song was Soul.
Yeah, and that came out.
So that came out April.
Right.
April 8th. And then the second one was RIPs and Likes, which came out June 10th.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I would have released them a lot sooner, but I think you don't, as an unsigned artist, I've never done this shit before.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So you're trying to navigate your way through, distributors and like pitching to playlists and doing the social media and all of that stuff. And it's almost like the fun bit of making the music is
learning.
gone.
You're learning
and
though, and you're growing as you're doing it. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're not growing, you're standing still, and if you're standing still, you're potentially, just
procrastinating
and go backwards. Do you know what I mean? So it is great to learn these new skills, but I don't find that sort of stuff as fun. Do you know
I know what you mean. You say like the fun is in the music itself, and then all of that stuff, the bullshit behind it, basically, is the hard bit. Getting through all the admin part of it is very difficult to do that side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But but my plan,
the
plan was to actually release a song, once every 4 weeks, 6 weeks. But I suppose I just didn't think far enough ahead. Do you know what I mean? So I wanted to release another song, but I was so wrapped up in the promotion of the first one that by the time I'd uploaded the second one, you need to give it at least 4 weeks according to your distributor.
Right.
We were 2-3 months down the line, but I'm hoping I could do it today, to be fair. I could go home and upload my next track.
Oh, wow.
I've got, how many have I got? I think I've got 6 tracks that I'm going to release, which I think are going to form part of an EP.
Nice.
Which is and the EP is RIPs and Likes.
Right, okay.
And then I've got songs ready or almost ready for what I would call the next era, do you know what I mean?
Right.
So
sounds like you've already prepped and you've got your music all ready to go. It's just all about distributing it, getting it out there. So you've done the work, definitely.
And do you know what? It's also about, I suppose the other thing to remember is that we're all just normal people, just trying to do this on a shoestring budget. So little things like, I'm just, I've done the 2 tracks, but I have to wait a bit because I've now got to get the next track mastered or whatever at cost. I might need to do some visualizers for social, might do another music video. Do you know what I mean? So there's all those kinds of things you need to consider. But yeah, it's ready. It's all ready. Some of the songs still need to be mastered. But I don't know, it's weird because some of these songs I wrote over 2 years ago now.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But
was this over lockdown? Because I feel like lockdown really got everyone really productive and they started exploring different avenues. People got creative, people got productive, people started different projects. People really utilised that time. Obviously, some people didn't, but most people really utilised that time. Did you find for you during lockdown, you were able to really buckle down, sit down and write music?
Yeah. And do you know what I mean? It's been a blessing for so many of us. And I think lockdown I was working really hard. I was working a lot of hours, and then in the gaps when you're sort of working from home, that was a new phenomenon. And it was I'm working from home, and then you find yourself watching Netflix in the evening, which is good. Do you know what I mean? But I think I'd reached the stage where I was so fed up of working from home. I was I can't come whenever the government announces that we can actually go out and live our lives again. I don't want to be able to just say, I watched
Netflix.
I rewatched Friends or something. Do you know what I mean? And I watched 5 seasons of the IT Crowd. Yeah, I've done all of that shit. But I wanted something
productive with your time.
I felt like I needed to be able to come out of it and say, do you know what, I did that.
You did something with your time during that. Yeah.
But like I said, I still consider myself an amateur to a certain extent. At the end of the day, I'm just a songwriter, but I basically set up a home studio on a very low cost, taught myself production.
So you did all that during lockdown as well? I think that is really good that you did all that. You sort of self-taught yourself to do that, and then obviously focused on your music.
I was just
it's like a kick up the backside to be productive.
And it's tough, you don't want to talk about it's really tough being an unsigned artist. It's brilliant, do you know what I mean? But getting to learn how to use like production software and trying to find a way to put what's inside you onto that. And I got the songs to a certain level where I wouldn't say I was happy with them, but I got them to a certain level where I was just like, yeah, they're good. Like musically, the structure's right. Like all of the parts are there, but I'm not a mix engineer.
Was
like,
it a
it
case
could
of
have taken me 20 years to go and learn, proper sound
it's a proper
engineering.
skill. Yeah, of course.
So that's when I had to reach out to some people who actually knew what they were doing.
To help you?
Yeah.
But was it a case of like trial and error when it came to finding your own style? Like with your production, with your music, did you have to like sit through lockdown and trying to gather like, okay, what is my style to go with my music and your lyrics? Like how did you match that with the lyrics that you wrote?
That's a good question. Do you know what? I think I wrote all of the songs on acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of them could be played acoustic. Do you know what I mean? They're all songs that, if we were all round having a drink after
You
being
whip
out
up the
in town,
guitar.
you could play and just have a jam. Do you know what I mean? But I suppose I always knew that I wanted them to be heavy.
Yeah.
But it was just finding a way of blending that with some, I don't know, just I wanted it to be a bit more electronic because some of my influences like the Prodigy and stuff growing up in Essex, you know what I mean? It's just there are just so many artists that have inspired me, and I suppose you take a piece of that and a piece of this, and that's where I've ended up.
Prodigy I saw in like a warehouse in Braintree about God knows how long ago that was, like 15 maybe 20 years ago. It was so fun.
They're so fun. I saw them at V Festival.
I think I saw him at V Festival as well. Can't remember what year
crowd
that was.
surfing and he had like bright green hair. And, it was so good, so much fun. I just love the energy.
It was one of those things, wasn't it? It was like seeing them live, being from Essex as well. It was such a huge part of us growing up. Really.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing. But with the track and the EP that's coming out, you were you right to go into the reason behind the song, because you put it in your description into what was like the reason behind the song. It was about your friend, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, a bit of both really. I suppose. I mean, what inspired me what gave me the life experience to write these songs was obviously I've been through some mental health problems.
Mm-hmm.
I was a cocaine addict. Do you know what I mean? I'm 6 years clean now. Do you know
Well
what I mean?
done.
So it's all good, but I'm completely abstinent. No drink, no drugs, and I do shit on a day-to-day basis that helps me stay on the straight and narrow. So the music was therapy. But I suppose that just gave me a lot of stuff that I wanted to write about. Do you know what I mean? It gave me a lot of content for the songs. And then, like you said, one of my mates, had also had some problems and he committed suicide. Do you know what I mean? And that was nearly 5 years ago now.
Right.
So obviously that gave me a lot of shit to think about.
Course,
do you know what I mean? It was quite difficult to deal with. It was difficult for a lot of people, but it just, it inspired me to write stuff.
Yeah.
And just to almost put my feelings down in a way. It's like I said earlier, we know how important it is to talk, but are we always brutally honest with other people? And it's stupid really, because I knew that I wanted to put the songs out, but the songs have almost held me accountable because I want to speak my truth. Like it's all I've got, do you know what I mean? So I've got to be truthful in the songs. Yeah. But then you've got to put that stuff out there. Do you know what I mean? And
I understand. I think the thing for me in regards to talking to people, and it might be the reason why you've done it within song rather than having to speak to people. So in some ways, I've always found it very difficult, and I've got a very supportive network of people, family, friends, But when I found mates, I found that people within there were on the same level as me in regards to. I can have a conversation with, and I'll mention one of the key ambassadors at Mates, Matty Smith, that
Legend.
I can have I can probably be more honest with Matty than I can with 99% of the other people in my life.
Yeah, man.
Because me and him have been down similar roads and are there for each other when we need each other.
Yeah.
And I know that if he calls me, he fucking needs me, and he knows that when I call him, I need him. And I think it's one of those things to have that support and know that you can be brutally honest with them, because I don't know. It's
establishing that safe ground. I think with my experience of men, I've got two brothers, and I did a series on men's mental health, so kind of got like an insight. I'm not saying I'm an expert because I'm not a man, but with women, when it comes to mental health, they talk more, they're more open with their feelings, they're more in tune with their feelings. With men, it's almost stereotypically ingrained in us as a society that no, men don't talk, men don't cry, which is absolute nonsense. It makes you human to have these emotions. But I feel like where you've grown up with those negative stereotypes about, you know, you should just toughen up or grow some balls or whatever, it makes it harder because you have those subconscious thoughts when you're going through shit that you can't really talk about it. So like when you said about Matty, you can obviously be open and raw and honest.
Yeah.
I feel like with everyone, even with women, we have that one friend or that one person who we can be completely vulnerable with, and our guard is completely down. And I feel it's really sad for men because I know they struggle with that, and I know some men struggle with their pride and, you know, how people will perceive them to be. Obviously, it's a stereotype, isn't it? Like, oh, if men are sad, like they're weak, but that's just not the case, and it makes it harder. So did you find when you were going through all of that, that was when you were like, okay, music is for me, is to convey like that raw emotion?
Yeah, I suppose so. I think like with drug addiction, you sort of, you know, it's people who've been through it, you call it like, you get so bad that it almost beats you into a state of reasonableness,
right,
where you're willing to actually accept that, you know what, like, Paul, you don't know what you're talking about. You've tried to sort yourself out. You've tried this, you've tried that.
Yeah.
Nothing's worked. Pull your head out your arse and listen to somebody else. You know what I mean? Take on board advice. So I suppose I did all that. I went through recovery first, and the upside of that was that actually I'm now in a place where I can focus on stuff and be creative and not just be, you know, in debt with drug dealers or chasing my tail all the time. So I think it was a byproduct of having got clean.
And do you, like with what Matt said, like he has that safe space, would you say you have someone you can be completely vulnerable and open with as well? Because I feel like it's important, like you mentioned it's so important.
I think there's a lot of people within that group that are like that though. It's a very, very good group. There's no judgment there, and
that's what you need,
100%.
To establish that trust and everything.
Yeah, it's weird because I really related to the fact that when you said about when you met some of the people in Mates, like Matt Smith, I know Matt Smith, but I don't know him that well. But the truth is, I've told him shit about my life that I wouldn't tell, some of my closest friends. But it's almost like when you meet people of a similar nature or who've been through similar shit, it feels like
you can open up to
you
it.
gauge
You
the
can
vibe,
see it.
don't you?
You almost have this instant connection, and I found that like in recovery. Do you know what I mean? Because I meet a lot of people that have, are drug addicts or alcoholics that have all been through the same stuff, and we're all just sharing our experience, you know what I mean, and just trying to be better people.
No, I understand that, mate. I think for me, like you say about not telling your closest family and friends and that, I'm certainly like that. I know that I'm in a better place now, but when I was going through like some hard stuff a couple of years ago, I found that I didn't really want to tell the people around me because I didn't want to scare them
or burden them.
I just didn't want to. I didn't want to speak to Charlotte about it. I didn't want to speak to my mum about it or whatever, because I knew that, or like even my closest mates, because it's one of those things that when you're going through that stuff, it's very internal. And not to compare it to addiction, but what I mean by what I'm about to say, you can only help yourself at that situation. When you're in mental health struggle, when I've been in a mental health struggle, I feel that as much as other people can come in and try and help, it's only when I decide in my head, now I need to do something.
And that comes with managing.
Yeah, well, now I have better management skills for that. But in that moment, it was like...
it does engulf you at times. There's been times where I've been triggered and it completely engulfs me. And you're absolutely right, because when you're in it, it's really hard to think objectively because you're like surrounded by all these feelings. And I'm the same, like I feel bad telling my friends and like my loved ones about it because I don't want to burden them. So it can be an isolating time, can't it?
It can be, but I think it's finding the right groups, finding the right people, and it's about supporting each other through it, because you have the support networks around you. I've certainly found that with mates and people within that. But at the same time, it's finding those triggers before you get to them, or managing them before they do.
But I think the beauty of it is as well, it's just the beauty of human nature is that we've basically just explained that you can get what you need. You can get that support from a complete stranger. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be somebody really close to you, you can go and talk to a complete stranger about this shit, and it's a weight off. Do you know what I mean? I just think that's, you just got to find
the right
people.
network. Yeah.
But I I'm not a mental health expert, but I know what you mean. I certainly had to be an element of I needed to want to take action. But if you're suffering from a diagnosed mental condition, you might not be in a position where you can take action.
No, I understand that.
But yeah.
It's very difficult. But all we're saying is that there are support networks out there, very, very good people that want to help. And if that's Mates, My Black Dog, there's loads of great places around. So it's certainly worth looking out for those. But let's get back to the music, shall we?
Yeah. Cool.
So you said you've got your 2 tracks that are currently released. They've been quite well received, haven't they? They've been receiving a lot of.
I think so. I've been played on radio stations, in weird places.
Like where's the weirdest?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Mexico and Argentina.
Wow.
For the first couple of months, I just had loads of listeners in Mexico, and I just didn't know why. Do you know what I mean? And not many listeners in the UK at all. But
you're international already.
Yeah. So when you look at it like that, you can say that my song's been heard on every continent. Which I don't know, but it's weird because I suppose you always want more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I suppose the thing that I didn't do is I didn't set any reasonable targets before I did this.
Right.
So really, everything I've done so far is a success.
Yeah.
If I wasn't such a greedy bastard. Do you know what I mean?
What is an attainable goal you have now then? If you didn't set goals out to begin with.
Do you know what? I haven't really had a goal. I think I said originally, look, if I can put some music out there, I almost just want to be able to say, I fucking did that.
Yeah, I'm proud of what I've done.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if people like it,
Yeah.
it's a bonus. But you've got to have a pretty tough skin for this stuff because it can be pretty
Cutthroat.
it's pretty cutthroat. Like stuff where you can pitch to user generated playlists on Spotify or whatever. And you get people giving you feedback. And some people will give you great feedback, chuck you on their playlist, but the majority are like, oh no, we don't like this, or your vocal's not very good. And you can see it initially, and you think, oh shit.
So who's managing these playlists?
Well, just people that have built playlists and have got
lots of
a lot of
subscribers
listeners. They've got big followings on social, so they've got a
Right.
bit of clout. So they're good playlists to get on because
Right, okay.
they're a good place for people to discover your music when you're starting out. But I just learned you just can't run your life by that stuff. If people say something shit about me now, I'm just like, do you know what?
Yeah.
It gives you the fuel to focus on you and grow even more, I guess.
I
Ignore them.
Yeah, and if anything, I suppose I did create something that's pretty niche. You know what I mean?
Well, people are going to get it or they don't.
Yeah.
And I think that you like you're saying, creating that electronic rock sort of genre, or what do you call it? Bastard rock.
I mean, I've never
Is that what
heard
you
that
called it?
saying. I've never heard that saying. That's like a new adjective
like that.
for the
Bastard
music.
heavy, yeah.
Bastard heavy.
You might have to incorporate that in your next few podcasts.
My little brother.
say
Do you know what? My little brother says bastard heavy, so I'll have to give him credit for that.
Fair enough.
My brother Murray, but he would disagree because he's a fucking metalhead. Do you know what I
okay.
mean? So he's talking about bands like Gojira. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Who are genuinely bastard heavy, but
Fair enough.
but it's heavy stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Well, so I love playing your tracks on our show, and it's one of those things that it's in the rotation for future hits as well. And anything else you bring out, obviously, send it our way. I know that you've obviously had play on other ones in Essex as well, which is great. But it's nice to see you doing well with it, mate. Cause it's nice to see. It's nice to see. Really nice to see.
Yeah.
An EP coming soon.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I don't even know what the
don't know
plan
yet.
is. Like I said, I've
won't
got
ask
tracks
him.
ready. I'm going to release the tracks one by one.
Yeah.
Just because I think that's what people do these days. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to drop,
Too much. Give them a little bit of breadcrumbing and
Well,
anticipate them.
Yeah, I suppose so. But also, I'm just starting out. I haven't got a big following. It's almost counterproductive to drop a load of songs when I haven't really got an
I
audience. So
understand
I'll drop them one by one, see where we're at, and then I just want to get back to writing music. Do you know what I mean? Because like I said, I feel like I've moved on a lot from the songs that I wrote.
It'd be interesting to hear something new, not like new as in new to the world, but I mean if you're writing stuff that's different to what Pieces and RIPs and Likes was, it'd be interesting to hear the change.
It's weird. I wouldn't think it's that different, but I've got a few people in my sort of close group of friends that are literally like my second set of ears, and they help me by listening to endless versions of songs and re-listening. Do you know what I mean? And they say it's really different. I
Right.
don't think it's that different.
Oh, okay. So it's still
But,
within the pieces
yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
parameters, I suppose.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I'm still excited to listen to it. We have got in the second section with you, third section overall. What we do is your dream gig. So what we'll do is we'll go through where your favourite venue would be to play, who you'd have on your not set list. What am I talking about? The people, artists, who else you'd be having. All right. So what we'll do, we'll have a quick break, and I need to step outside because it's roasting here, isn't it?
I'm
Absolutely
bleeding up.
I feel all right.
God, Jesus Christ. Right, we're going to have a quick break and we'll be back in section 3. Hi guys, welcome to the podcast. If you're an unsigned band or artist and you would like to get your music on the radio, go to our website, unsignedmusic.uk. There's a little icon on there saying submit your music. Go on there, submit your music, and you could be on one of our partner channels, as you can see here. You could be on there as early as next Sunday. So go and do that and we will listen to your music and hopefully you'll be on the radio.
The Unsigned Podcast.
Welcome back to section 3. We are with Paul Jones from Pieces and Aisha.
Hello.
And Manish is here as well. Hi Manish.
Hi, Manish.
Right, so we've got our dream or your dream gig to get onto, but I was going to ask you a little bit earlier, but we sort of got sidetracked. Obviously, you're producing a lot of music, you're writing a lot of music, and you've got quite a lot of tracks in the pipeline. When are you looking out, or are you looking out to get to some events at some point performing?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely in the plan. It's terrifying. I think I decided to just stay on my own initially rather than build a band and you've got all these different people to try and get in one place and everyone needs to be as committed as you are. So I just thought I'm just going to do it on my own. And then if I can create something that is good and people like it, then I'll build a band afterwards. So I'm taking names, I'm taking auditions. So if, it's on that camera. Yeah, I'm taking names. Auditions open. Like if anyone likes what they hear, wants to get involved, hit me up. Because it's definitely on my to-do list.
Yeah. I'd love to be an event that you're playing. I think we've got quite a lot of sort of rock artists that have submitted tracks, and it was sort of from our area as well in Chelmsford or Essex. So it'd be quite cool to have like a night of that somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, man.
Would be cool.
And it's stuff like my music. I actually think it's going to be nastier live.
Right.
I really think.
Are we talking mosh pits and stuff?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That was me mosh pits.
I can't see you in the mosh pit.
I've been dragged in mosh pits in my time and they've been pretty brutal.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually,
I've somehow managed to be engulfed by one and I'm just covered in mud.
I was in some brutal mosh pits at 2000 Trees at the weekend.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Who were you seeing there then? Because you mentioned to me before we came on that you went to that.
Yeah, so
I
mean,
texting.
3 bands I love. So Kid Capici, Nova Twins, and then Idols, and all of the mosh pits were fucking mental.
Is Nova Twins who you mentioned to me earlier?
Yeah, Nova Twins,
okay.
yeah.
Nova Twins specifically was just carnage. Just we're right in the front, but just people coming you're just getting booted in the back of the head with people crowds.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I was going to say with Idols, I can imagine that with them because they're very very raw, a very edgy band, and obviously I can imagine the carnage there.
Yeah, Idols.
Because he really encapsulates his anger in his lyrics as well.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible.
So
it's so good live.
Yeah.
So
Really?
good. Yeah.
I got booted in the back of the head watching the Prodigy at V Festival. Just remembered that. I remember getting elbowed.
I dropped my phone in a puddle during that. Was it probably
in a puddle?
In a puddle, yeah.
Oh right.
Probably the same year. It was raining.
Yeah, it was chucking it
Yeah,
down.
yeah. It
And
was
I remember,
the same year.
I remember my sister running up to me crying. She had an argument with her boyfriend at the time, and I've just been elbowed in the face and booted in the back of the head.
Yeah.
What's the first rule of mosh pits, though?
Run away from them.
No, you pick people up. That's the first rule.
I didn't know there were rules. Are there set
Seriously,
rules,
right? So
really?
when
Got to look after
you
each
got to
other.
look after each other.
See,
So
I
you
was
kick the
always
shit
the one
out
on
of
the
each other.
floor.
No, but you get picked up. That's
Yeah.
what that's what I learned. Is that if you're, I can't remember even which gig it was, but yeah, literally you fall down, people pick you up
that
because
is
it's
true. Someone did
such
pick
a
me
risk
up.
such a risk of being trampled on in there.
Yeah.
So
I did get picked up,
be
but
safe.
it's really quite scary being in the thick of that, especially when you're not expecting it. It suddenly just forms and you're in one. I'm like,
That's a bit stupid. If you're standing in the middle of a gig and everyone just circles you,
like a poor gazelle. It's like wildebeest. It's like Lion King all over again.
oh god. So at the moment you haven't got a band yet. It's in the plans. Who else have you got that you have been working with? You mentioned the production team earlier.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously I got the music to a certain level, but I'm an amateur producer. So, Yeah, it was weird actually. I mean, I knew I needed some proper help, like with people who knew what they were doing. So I was like doing a bit of research online, and I reached out to these guys, like a production duo called Groove Machine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Alex Condliffe and Noah Booth, who were part of Rat Boy.
Right.
So I reached out to these guys, sent them the tracks, and they were like, "Yeah, we really like what we hear. We'd love to get involved and help you take the songs to the next level." So we did a Zoom call on that, and then the next day I went out for a run, and I literally bumped into Alex outside my house, and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing here?"
Right.
And he was like, "Mate, the studio's like just here."
Wow.
Literally living 6 or 7 doors down from where I live. Like,
What are the chances of that?
And I just
It's
thought
fate.
fate, I bet, it just felt like the universe was just sort of saying, go on,
Aligning.
crack on with
Yeah.
this. You know what I mean? Of all the people I could have reached out to in Essex or London for help, and I reached out to 2 guys that literally live next door to me. It was just crazy.
Mad, isn't it?
But yeah, so they helped out. They literally, we hit the studio, we re-recorded a lot of the stuff that I'd recorded at home, like professionally, redid all the vocals. They added some bells and whistles, and then I gave some of the songs to Jim Davies, who is the former guitarist from The Prodigy,
Right.
Pitch Shifter, and then Jim sort of put a bit more of an electronic twist on the songs and took them, just a little bit higher. So yeah, those are the guys I've been working with. But then I suppose I've been mentored by I don't know if you've heard of an artist called Grandson, an American artist.
No.
American Canadian artist, but I fucking love this band. They're incredible. I would describe them as they're like sort of new Rage Against the Machine.
Oh wow.
Oh, cool.
But they're really progressive politics, like lyrics. They're really inclusive. But Grandson, the artist, I ended up hooking up with his guitarist during lockdown. And he just started giving me some guitar lessons, but then he ended up appearing on my songs.
Oh, really?
And he's basically just been like my guru, to be fair, because he's
That's
someone
so
in the
cool.
industry. They're doing it. Do you know what I mean? They've just been on tour with like they're touring with Deftones and
Oh,
Bring Me
wow.
the Horizon and Imagine Dragons, and like it's fucking mental.
Yeah.
So I never set any goals, but if you told me 3 years ago that you'd be like making music and
Have all these
musicians of that
people.
level would be working with you, it's just incredible.
Sounds amazing, mate. It
Yeah.
sounds like you got a good network around you that's helping you sort of build what you're trying to get to. So surely they know people that want to be involved with it as well.
Yeah, and it opens all kinds of doors as
Yeah.
well. It's like I've done some vocals on stuff for like session vocals, or I've written some lyrics and melodies for songs with other pretty decent big musicians that I just
sweet.
would never have dreamed of doing.
It's opening a lot of doors then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing, mate. Right. So, should we get onto your dream gig?
Yes.
Right. So, what the concept is for this, right? There's probably a better name for it. All right. But
You say this
can't think of
every
one.
time.
Yeah, because it's a naff name. But I want to.
You should have a theme tune for it. Or something.
Yeah,
You should,
that'd
like,
be
have a
really
You can
cool.
make me one.
dream gig. I don't know.
That sounded very like ITV,
Yeah.
like Saturday
Like cheesy
night
radio,
Yeah.
but maybe it needs something grittier.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, when I
Get
get
like a
home, I'll
xylophone.
knock that together for you if you like.
Yeah, all right. Cheers.
Like the xylophone when you sang that.
Like Phoenix Nights.
Yeah, like
it's
doo,
the
doo.
Phoenix Club.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so what we're going to do, your first question is you feature on this bill at some point, right? You've got a headliner, a main support, and an opener. Where do you feature on that bill, and which 2 other artists are with you on the bill?
Where do I feature on the bill?
Totally up to you. So we've had different examples we've had, right? So it's specific, past, present, whatever, right? So the Lucetters chose to have the Arctic Monkeys open for them, but the Arctic Monkeys from the first record,
Yeah.
right? So that's like
a fair shout.
It's a great
'cause,
shout.
Yeah, I'm down with Arctic Monkeys early shit, definitely.
There you go. So, but it's your choice, not theirs.
Ooh, that's a big question. I haven't really thought about this at all. Dead or alive as well.
Yeah, Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
I don't know. I think like there's so many artists that have influenced me growing up. Like Radiohead, Guns N' Roses.
I was going to say Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
The Chili's. I mean, it's just so many artists, like
Yeah.
even Oasis and stuff like that. But I reckon I would like if I was going to go with current bands. Let's say. Oh shit! This is tough.
There's so many good bands and
Really
artists.
tough.
Yeah.
It's really hard to choose. But when you said Guns N' Roses, do you know Slash is my long lost dad? Because he got the hair.
Oh, I knew you were going there. I've met
Mine's
your
pretty curly as well. when
Yeah,
it's
I've met your dad.
Slash. Well, my mum did the dirty, and Slash is secretly my dad. So
don't
sorry,
know what to
Dad.
say.
Sorry, Dad Narby.
Well, he
but
could have
Slash
done
is my
because
dad.
he was born in Stoke, wasn't he?
Yeah. So
Was he?
Yeah. You know.
Has your mum ever been to Stoke?
well, we don't know. Let's have her on the show and ask her, interrogate her.
So look, I'd be top of the bill. Like,
Yeah.
well.
You'd be headlining.
No.
Oh.
I mean, come on, I've got to be realistic.
Go on
so
then.
this is, I'm new.
So you're opening.
Yeah. So if this is a
Okay.
festival,
Yeah,
I'm on
yeah.
at midday.
Okay,
Do you know
fine.
what I mean? I'm on at midday.
But this is your like dream gig. So it's like, what do you want to do? Like, do you know what I mean? You don't have to, but you can be wherever you want. But if you want to be the opener, let's go with that. You're the
Do
opener.
you know? All right, I would play 2,000 Trees. And
Okay.
I'm saying that because I reckon 2,000 Trees is the best festival I've ever been to.
Next question was going to be, where would you play?
Yeah.
So, we've got that.
It's so intimate,
Yeah.
but it's
Does it
so.
say it's in Bristol?
It's like Cheltenham, Gloucester way.
Right, okay,
But
so
it's
it's that
like
way.
proper set in the country. Like you don't even know. There aren't even signs for it until
Right.
you're at the entrance, and then you just disappear through this forest, and then like in a
Hence
clearing, there's just all these
2,000
tents.
trees.
and
Yeah, I get
stuff.
it. I get it.
But I think there were like 15,000 people there. But it's
Oh,
the
wow.
sort of festival where 10 minutes before a band is on, you can literally walk to the front.
Right.
And you can't do that at other
Yeah,
like
that's
really
true.
big mainstream
No.
festivals. You know what I mean? You literally you can't have a drink for 4 hours if you want to see a band.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
up close and
Yeah.
personal. So 2,000 Trees, that's the venue. Who would be on the bill? Okay, right, I'm just going to chat shit now. Right, Kid Brunswick.
Right.
Don't know if you've heard of Kid Brunswick.
No.
Give him a listen. Like,
Okay.
it's fucking shit hot. Grandson would definitely be on there because they've just been such an influence over the past few years. Bob Villan.
Right.
I would say Nova Twins. Let's stick Kid Capici on there as well.
You're supposed to pick 3, Paul.
3.
Including you.
See, it's hard.
It is hard,
It's
but
really
that's the
hard.
point, isn't it?
really
It's not
hard.
supposed to be bloody easy.
All right, okay. It's me. Grandson are headlining. Nova Twins are supporting Grandson.
Right, there we go.
Job done.
Made a decision. So you've already said it's going to be at 2,000 Trees. How would you travel to Gloucester? What would be your way to travel there?
Canoe.
What?
That it's got to be a van,
I was
isn't
not
it?
expecting that.
So I was going to say, how are you going to do that? The Chelmer, try and latch onto the Thames at some point. Then what?
I
The
reckon you
Severn?
could do it. I reckon you could do it. It
Be a
might
bit
take
walking
about
in.
5 weeks or something. It's got to be van. Like,
Yeah?
I'm up and coming, so it's dirty van.
Dirty van.
It might not even get us there.
Like an old transit or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
All right, fair enough. What would be your cover track you do? Because we've seen, you were mentioning earlier about Lily Allen and Olivia Rodrigo, didn't you?
Yeah.
What cover track would you do?
Oh, shit, man.
Come on.
That's a really tough question.
Would you do something that would be completely out of left field and make it into your own?
Yeah.
Or do you think you'd do something in sort of like the rock metal sort of genre?
No, I don't. See, the thing with covers, like, there are the rare occasions when an artist does a cover and it's better than the original.
Yeah.
But if you're going to cover an amazing track,
You've got a lot of
I think you've got to
yeah.
have to have a big pair of balls to be confident that your version's going to be shit hot. Because if it's not, it's just like
You're insulting that
I
song.
just think you've got to be really good. You've got to choose wisely. I think I would choose something that is maybe a completely different genre. I'd
Yeah.
choose like a mellow, folky vibe song, and
Right.
I'd heavy it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you feel about someone covering your tracks?
Love it, mate.
Yeah?
I'd love to hear it. Do you know what I mean?
Because I've got like so there's, like I said to you when we had a little break, I've got I'm ideas like all the time. I'm always bothering this lot with like everyone who's involved with Unsigned or Future Hits or whatever. I'm always bothering them with new ideas, right? And I've got an idea that I'll talk to you probably off this because I don't want anyone nicking it. But I'd like to hear something like that, like someone we know potentially doing a track of yours or you of theirs or whatever.
Yeah,
It'd be
yeah.
quite cool to sort of
See how
hear
they
the
do it and
difference.
interpret it in their
Haven't
own
you just
style.
given the idea away?
Yeah, I have. Don't
You
steal it. No one steal it.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, I want to try that.
And do you know what? I think it's really important for musicians to, like, you want to open your mind. Like, some people are so narrow-minded with music. Like, I like this and that's my deal. But
Yeah.
I think unless you work with people that like different shit or just have different vibes
Eclectic
completely,
taste.
you can end up down so many different routes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's when I was growing up, like I think that there were a lot of people when I was growing up that just stuck to a genre, and I get the impression you didn't. But I mean, for me, like I've talked about it before, I love like new metal. Obviously, went and saw Prodigy a few times, but I like all like pop stuff and all that. And it's like it's nice to have that variety.
Mixture, yeah.
You don't want to just. I think like these days, everyone wants a label, don't they?
Yeah, they want to be like, I'm
part
this.
of this.
I was the same. I never grew up listening to one genre.
Garage, love garage.
Yeah, like when I was a kid, 90s garage was it.
It's still it.
So I was listening to like a mixture of things, and obviously then like pop and like just indie, like getting into my teens and stuff. So it's been a real eclectic mix, but I never would say I'm a label for one genre because I don't like that. Just I feel like all music has the ability to take you on some sort of journey, whether you feel a bit nostalgic listening to it, brings back memories, evoke feelings. I just think that's the beauty of music, listening to all sorts of music.
I'd like to see, have you seen the orchestra garage stuff?
Yeah,
yes,
I went to that.
Did you?
Yeah, I went to one of them gigs and it was incredible.
Oh, really?
I think they had, they had like Sholorama there or something.
Oh,
they
wicked.
wheeled Sholorama out to do a few songs, which was quality.
I really want to see that too. I've seen a few people who've gone to that. And
they've done it at like the Chelmsford City racecourse place as well, didn't they? They did it there. I'm sure they did.
I was talking to someone earlier as well. They do it with like Ibiza sessions as well, like, like full orchestras. Yeah,
I'd
but
love
that's
to see that.
like especially like with the 90s dance and like Ibiza stuff. Like imagine that. It sounds more powerful when it's an orchestra, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Like very regal.
Cover track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, who are you doing?
Oh man,
We gave you enough filler then.
Could be
I didn't know that I was meant to be thinking about it.
It could be like Britney Spears and then really heavy metal it up. Or
Adele.
as you say, bastard heavy it up. Yeah, or Adele.
Or Adele.
Yeah.
Or all right, we'll move back
Rolling
to
in
that
the
one if you
Deep
want.
in like a really, that'd be really cool actually.
We can roll back to that one. Who would be your special? I mean, you've mentioned a couple of influences that you've had and people that you've worked with recently. Who would be your special guest that you'd bring out and do a song with?
Like a surprise one.
Like a surprise, like a duet surprise. Someone you bring out to be able to do that at the festival at 2000 Trees. Who would you bring out?
There's so many. So many. Tom York, Radiohead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I'd love to be able to like Tom York on the keys or something. Maybe we'll be playing a bit of guitar. It'd be so cool to jam with him.
That's pretty special.
He's just a genius.
It's pretty special.
Yeah, that is cool.
I like that. We had a few examples that we've had. Who was it? Someone was saying about having the Who on, but I can't remember who it was now.
I was not there for
You
that.
were not there.
I was
Who
not
did Ollie?
there.
Who did Ollie say? Oh, I said Florence, I think. Did I say Florence?
I think so.
Yeah, a few people have said her.
But they discussed a few people, so
Yeah,
I can't
they did.
remember
Yeah,
what.
they went off on tangents.
Yeah,
so I
we
sort of
were-
lost track to it. But yeah, right. When you get to your gig, you've got your rider, so you've got special requests for something to be in your in the green room, in the dressing room for you, waiting for you when you get there. Yes, you've mentioned a few times about being an up and coming artist, but you do get your special request. What would it be?
Just one thing.
Yeah. Well, it depends what you're going to say. Are you going to a boat or a canoe?
Lots of pizza.
Parma Violets.
They're the worst.
What, the sweets? The
they're
purple
fucking
ones?
brilliant. Don't be one of them.
You'd get a bowl of
I'll take
Parma
love
Violets.
arts.
Don't be one of them.
I don't
Parma
mind
Violets.
Parma Violets, but I like the flying saucer sweets. You know, the ones with the sherbet. And,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
so good.
See, my mates ripped the piss out of me a couple of weeks ago because I think we went to the pub.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't drink. So I think I took some sweets with me and I took Turkish Delight and Parma Violets.
Oh,
so I'm sipping on like a Diet Coke or something and they're like, Paul, do you only eat like rose-flavoured sweets? And none
Parma
of them were
Violets,
down with my
what is
choices.
that flavour? It's like, what is that
I'm not
flavour?
sure. It's like, it just smells like potpourri.
It smells like washing up detergent.
To be fair,
yeah.
it does have a flavour of that, but I like that.
I kind of
Yeah.
like that as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Parma Violets. They're always the one, you know, when you used to get those mixer
Party
bags,
bags, yeah.
the party bags, they were always the ones that were left.
Oh, mate. We should just team up then.
That's like Bounty, isn't it? It's in the same level as... I know, Bounty's... It's not proper coconut though, is it?
I quite like a Bounty though.
I get the impression you were given the shit stuff that was left.
Yeah, I don't want the coffee sweets though. Like,
Oh,
I love
I love the coffee
but I
sweets.
don't want a coffee chocolate. Come
No, I'm not a
on,
big
Just
coffee
give me the
chocolate
orange
fan.
cream.
No, I
and
like
stuff
the I like the
that.
coffee chocolate.
Yeah.
I like that.
No.
I don't like Bounty because it's not proper coconut.
I just don't like coconut. to be
I love
honest.
coconut sweets, but Bounty doesn't taste like coconut. It's like very cardboardy.
Don't like it.
No.
You thought of a cover track yet?
We're going off tangents, and then Matt is coming back like,
I've got to come back
come
to it, 'cause
track.
I'm really interested to know what it would be.
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't want to just.
Right, it's going to be the last question I ask you
I
then.
don't want to just say track.
All right, what would be your made it moment then? So obviously you said that you haven't had a chance to gig yet. It's in the plans for the future. But what would be like a moment where you look at, well, you might have even had it, to be fair. You said that you're writing for a lot of, like, you know, some people that are in the industry and having some time to work with people that are doing it. Is that your made it moment, or have you got something that you think, fuck, that's pretty cool?
Yeah, it's a weird one. Like, you've got to be realistic with this stuff, and look, I'd feel like I'd made it if I was able to play a show at a good venue. Do you know what I mean? Like, even with 500 people, 1,000 people, I'd consider that. Like, I think I'd be happy. Do you know what I mean? If I was able to play to that many people, I'd be happy. But of course, I'd love to play stadiums and shit like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like I've made it now. Like, even when, like, you know, when radio stations play your track, you almost feel like you're already successful. Like we were talking earlier, when BBC introducing Pick My Track as well, like you feel that's some kind of validation for what you're doing. You shouldn't really need it, but at the end of the day, I'm a human being. It's nice for people to say, actually, we think that's pretty shithole, we're going to play it.
But sometimes smaller gigs are just as good because they're more intimate, you know? Sometimes they really, like, fulfill that atmosphere that you're trying to achieve as well.
Yeah, definitely.
What would be like in regards to having venues local-ish, what would be a good venue that you would say would be for you to play a gig at some point? Are there many venues around our area that you think that might be a good shout?
It's weird. I think Essex has got the scene's all right. I think it's better than it was like when we were a bit younger.
Yeah. I think when we were younger, but everyone just used to go out like clubbing or whatever. They didn't. There wasn't. I don't remember going to many gigs growing up at all. Not many. I mean, not unless it was like a big band. I don't remember seeing many unsigned artist nights and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean there are sort of up and coming venues now that feature unsigned artists. But look, I'm not going to be picky and choosy.
What are you saying? What?
It's like dust or something.
It's dandruff.
Oh yeah.
It's from the wall, I think.
Oh, but lens on it. Oh, don't worry about it, mate. It's fine. Whatever.
Is it splashback from where you dropped your coffee earlier?
That's it. You created a mess.
You're not bringing up that.
So the scene is better in Essex than it was.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you look at some of the artists that are coming out of Essex still, I mean, like, you've got Bilk, like you've got Rat Boy, Low Lying Sun at the moment are doing good things. And then if you want to go really big, you've got Nothing But Thieves. Do you know what I mean? So there's a shitload of talent coming out of Essex.
Yeah. No, it is good. I see a lot because when we started Unsigned, it actually started as a Saturday sessions on Southend.
Yeah.
But we opened it up to Unsigned so it could go on a few multiple stations, which is when Islington picked us up and a couple other stations as well. But obviously originally it was based in Essex, so we had stuff from San Quentin, Under One Sun, there is, and Lucetta's as well, who have been on the podcast before. And it's like there is a good community of artists in that sort of indie sort of rock sort of genre that are coming through. But we've got loads of great music coming out of Essex. I still get loads of submissions from there.
The creative hub.
I think the thing is, right, so when we've had other people on before, they've said like when you look at maybe not London, but when you look at like Liverpool or Manchester or Glasgow or wherever, they all look after their own. Whereas in Essex, it seems to be a little bit more sporadic. Like you've got Chelmsford or Southend or whatever. Like Southend's got quite a good scene by all accounts. Like, I know that a few people from there that are talking it up at the moment. So it's all developing in it. But what we're trying to do is create that community and create that place to build each other up, because that's why we've started like Future Hits and stuff, to sort of just play 24/7 emerging artists. I know there's other platforms out there that are sort of doing a similar thing, but we want to be a little bit different in what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's all
cool,
it's all trying to promote it, innit? Where would be your after party?
If you had after party,
if you even had an after party,
yeah.
It could be as extravagant or as laid back as you want it to be.
We didn't. What did they say? They said a grotty flat in Monaco.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where would yours be?
Where would mine be? Every do that I've ever had has always ended up as a barbecue around my mum's. And I think that, barbecue around my mum's would be pretty cool, just as a family thing. Like, say, for example, right, we ended up, blowing up. Like, I think that we've got 1,000 subscribers and we're doing really well and the radio's kicked off and we're getting some money through the door and being able to put on events every month. Like if I get to that point, I think a bit of a celebratory barbecue around my mum's or something like that would be pretty.
That sounds so
pretty
wholesome.
Cool.
I love it.
But that's what we've always
Yeah.
done. Like we've always done stuff. I remember like we were talking about special birthdays, weren't we, on the way
Yeah.
here? Because my daughter's going to be 10 this year, right? And I think that's quite a good. That's quite a milestone.
Like this episode's a 10 episode, double digits.
Double digits. But yeah, and also I've been married 10 years this year.
Oh wow! So it's like 10 is the number of
Actually,
the
is
season.
that true? It's not true. It's 9 years.
Oh god!
I remember she got it wrong and whatever. Anyway, but yeah, it's quite a milestone. Where was I fucking going with that? But oh yeah, so every birthday I ever had, like there was a big milestone. It was always like that. Like you still like have a night out and stuff with your mates and that, but generally we done stuff there. So go out for a nice dinner or something. I don't know, but I'm not. I've never. I'm not like. I don't think a club. I'm not.
You're past your clubbing days.
It's pretty cute. It's pretty wholesome what you said. Like
Yeah, I like that.
You basically just put a lot of pressure on me to say my missus.
No. Oh well.
And like, is your mum listening? Do you know what I mean? Are you trying to get brownie
trying to
points or
you're trying-
something?
No, not at all. No.
So I think.
I think the thing is with that, like, it's one of those things, isn't it? You just stick to what you're used to. Like, if I then suddenly went, we're going to go to some fancy club in Mayfair or whatever, where you were last night or whatever, that's not me, is it? Like, I'll walk in there and stick out like a sore thumb.
I can see you there, man. What about you, Aisha?
Yeah, this would be
Oh
extravagant.
no!
Go
What?
on.
Oh god! Really? Do we have to? I'm not an art. I'm not a singer, so it's never gonna happen. But if I was, if I was, let me tell you, I would have a Bentley come pick me up. David.
Here we go.
You planned this
Oh,
out.
I haven't said, mate. No, not at all.
I'm not planned
She
it. I
doesn't
don't know where
leave
this is
any-
going. I actually don't know where this is going. So I'm gonna stop there.
No, come on. Where would if you were arranging like so?
I'd have several parties because I love a party. So
If
I'd
you were
have-
management for a band,
yeah.
or for Paul, or whatever.
So I'd start off quite intimate, very wholesome, with families and friends, and then take them in a nice car somewhere really big, high end and fancy.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. It would be like a pre-party, which is wholesome, nice, with very close friends, people who couldn't make the main event. All lovely, cozy, just a casual, maybe a dinner, something, and then I'll
let
take
your hair down with
and
you.
then let your hair down, put your heels on,
There you go,
whatever.
Paul. You can put your heels on.
Put your heels on, let your hair down, and take you to somewhere really high end. Like treat you like a queen or a king.
I don't think I know many high-end places, if I'm honest. Not really.
What would you, if you were going down that route, where would you take them? In Essex.
In Essex?
Actually, saying that, there's really no, there's really nowhere.
No, I don't know, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I'm quite a simple man.
That's the thing I quite like to do, because I as much as I like going out to like nice places and stuff, I do like the kind of intimate, like, with your close friends and family vibe as well. I'm a bit of a 50-50 person.
Yeah.
People seem to think, I'm just always for that, but no, it's not. I like a bit of both. So I'll do like a pre-gathering party, something wholesome, like a meal,
Yep.
and then like all out.
Then gaucho.
Yeah, have fun, like really
Or whatever.
nice.
Fair enough.
High-end place. Won't name names, but anywhere like really fancy.
Fancy schmancy.
And then like
yeah.
you get like a nice car to take you there, like really nice service. And
Well, Paul's going somewhere in a transit.
yeah, or
so
transit,
I'll give you a
whatever
lift if you
floats your
want.
boat. Just get in the back of your van.
Get in the van.
Fair
But
enough.
that's just literally just what I just made up on the spot. This is not what I plan
No?
regularly.
Alright, fair enough.
Don't just sit there in the mirror like, what would I do? No.
No, fair enough.
What would I do? So I think if it was 6 or 7 years ago, it would be just full on dirt. I'd just be back in some stranger's kitchen. We'd just be getting smashed to pieces. Like, and that sort of appeals to me in a way because,
Right.
yeah, I don't drink and take drugs anymore, but people still do, So I
It's like the
that
song,
idea.
everyone stays in the kitchen at parties. That 80s
Yeah.
song. It's
Yeah.
true though, on so
Yeah.
many levels.
Mm.
I was trying to think how it goes then, but I can't.
I'm not going to do it. I was going to sing it, but I thought I'll stop myself.
If you sing it, I'll turn your mic down.
No, please don't make me.
I can't remember it. But no, go on.
Party. That's cut that.
No, Joel, do not cut.
No, please cut that. Please
Is
cut
it
that. Oh my god.
Something. Kitchen in parties.
Yeah, that's it.
This is great content.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, let's leave it there.
Yeah,
So,
let's
No, I think, so my happy place, I would go to the beach. I'd go to the beach
Yeah.
with the family. I'd get all my
Nice.
friends there.
What beach?
Let's keep it Essex.
Yeah.
I would go like Dovercourt Way or Holland on Sea, somewhere like that.
yeah.
Somewhere that's maybe not just full on fairground, but it's there if you want it.
Yeah.
Maybe just a bit on the outskirts where the beach is a bit quieter, where you can literally just have it all to yourself.
Yeah.
Nice.
That sounds nice.
Get in that dirty green sea, no matter how cold it is.
Dirty green sea.
And yeah, barbecue on the beach, definitely.
That's a good
fun.
shout.
Yeah.
Very good shout. I like
like
that.
that.
Travel, bit of a travel from Gloucester, innit? But we'll get a helicopter there, be all right.
Oh yeah, easy. Like
Yeah.
we've made it. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So drive the transit there, perform, helicopter back.
Nice. Like that. And you haven't got a cover track yet?
Oh my God. I love how he subtly just rings that in. Like we go off on a tangent. It's like cover track.
Cover track. I've got a new game for you. Did I play this game with you?
What was it?
Lizzie took the piss out of me last week, but it's gig, tour, or put in the bin.
Oh no, we did.
We discussed it.
It's
We
like,
didn't do
it's
it.
like snog, marry, avoid.
Basically, yeah,
We
yeah.
did chat about.
We
that,
chatted about it, but we
yeah.
didn't do it because Ollie and were just like off on whatever. So I think, right, so we done gig, tour, yeah. So like Snog, Marry, Avoid, but gig,
Right.
tour, or put in the bin, but there's a better term for that. But, so what I'm going to give you 3 artists. You got to go on tour with them for a year-long worldwide tour.
Oh, but this means I've got to offend an artist. doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that's fine. They don't mind. And then you've got, or you spend one night with them, like gigging, like one gig night, nothing else. And one of them you got to
If they're
maybe
listening in.
maybe not put in the bin.
Don't put bin.
Or what's
'cause-
better than that?
Save for later.
Yeah, like yeah.
Reschedule.
Rain check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sound check, rain check.
Rain
Right,
check.
Bring Me the Horizon, Prodigy, and Nova Twins.
Yeah. Or idols, because you mentioned idols as well, so we can.
Okay, swap out Prodigy then.
Yeah. Which one did you want to substitute? Who's on the subs? Idols are on the sub, so they're on the sub bench.
I would go on tour with Prodigy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would gig with Nova Twins. And Bring Me the Horizon. Sorry,
Rain
Ollie.
check.
Yeah, just rain check, man. Like, I love what you do, but we just have to do it another time.
Fair one. I like that. I mean, I'm sure there's a better way for rain checks. Probably better than.
We have to figure out a good.
Or maybe you
word.
should. Maybe we should have like write with it, like so you gig with them, you
Yeah,
write with
that's
them, or
actually
go on
good,
tour
yeah,
with them. It's
yeah.
probably a better concept than throw them in the bin.
Yeah, more politer.
I'll change that for next
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Cool.
That's better.
I would write with Ollie Sykes then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he's trying to expand as well, and he's writing with all different genres and stuff. So
There you
it's
go.
probably a sensible
We've
choice.
rephrased the thing. What was it? We've redone the segment, so it's write, tour, or gig.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
better,
That's
innit?
better, so much
Well
better.
done, Paul.
Cool.
Right. Could you tell everyone where to find you and your cover track?
Yep. So my socials, if you want to find me, everything is at This Is Pieces. Pieces was taken already, so This Is Pieces, easy to find. More active on Instagram. Next track's going to come out in 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. Nice.
It's called Bored, the next one. So yeah, just keep an eye out.
What's the meaning behind that one?
So Bored is a song, I think it's a song about just lacking gratitude.
Right.
And just like pull your fucking head out your ass and just look at how good life is.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, I think it whinges a lot about it's
the
all about
smaller
me
things
and
in
my
life.
outlook in life,
Yeah.
but it's also about people I see in day to day life.
Yeah.
People are so wrapped up in this, and this that they don't see all
Yeah.
the good shit that's going on.
Yeah.
I think we can all learn something from that.
Yeah.
It's about taking a step back and appreciating what you have. I
Or
think a
the
lot
small
of people
bits.
can do.
People always
yeah.
forget the small things in life, but actually they make up most of it. So
I think the thing is,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people found that appreciation during lockdown. And stuff.
yes.
I mean, like you said
especially.
earlier, a lot of people found their creative spark during lockdown. But I think
Mm.
people realise. I mean, some people were probably wanting to kill their families after being with them for so long. But it also gave us a new appreciation for it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing that. So 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Cool. Like it. And then everyone can find you on Spotify as well. And
Yeah, all streaming platforms.
Nice.
I released a music video the other day as well.
I saw.
So
We
go
saw that
check
on
it out.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
listened to what was it? RIPs and likes, and obviously it was very gritty, very raw, and I wasn't expecting so suddenly.
This is when you're going to turn into a mum again.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I literally had like a bit of a minor mum moment. So when like he swore, obviously it was very fricative, like you really got the anger out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
you do in one
yeah,
bit.
and I was like, because I wasn't expecting it to be with such force, but obviously it went with the meaning behind
It didn't
the song,
affect
the
me in the
lyrics.
same way.
But I just was like, listen, like, oh, it's very good. Yeah, good. Yeah, and then like when you did that, I was like, oh, hello. Like,
Swear word.
like a
swear
proper like
word.
mum moment. Like, oh,
Yeah, because Aisha doesn't swear.
I do swear, but I don't want to do it. on
I've
the
probably
camera.
sworn way too much. On
Nah,
this
you're
show,
all
haven't
right.
I?
I'm just
No,
being
not at
wide.
all.
I've been wide not to swear like on air and anything. That's why I'm.
But that's the thing, yeah, I know. When we do radio stuff, obviously, you
Yeah,
know,
that's why
we have to
I've
be
been
careful. But
wired,
when you're
yeah.
on here, you can say what you like.
I mean,
It's
I'm
fine.
effing blind in real life without the cameras being in there. But I
Effing
just
blind?
effing blind.
To be fair, it's more of a pain as well. Like, I'm being told by some of the people I work with, Paul, stop writing songs with swear words in because you just have to make clean versions for
Yeah.
radio.
Yeah.
Um,
It is, I can understand
But
why they would say
sometimes
that, but
it's
sometimes
just-
it's the best word for it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes fuck it.
I mean, I'm
he
from
just said
Essex
it.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, I
You
know,
just
there
gotta-
is that.
Yeah, it's just too.
There is
casual.
that. I have noticed that. I sort of have to try and tone my Essex down sometimes.
I haven't dropped a C-bomb though while we've been on. So.
No, well done.
Well
Well done.
done. Progress.
That's only been dropped once or twice.
Yeah,
But that was
it
both
was-
with them.
In my presence as
Yeah, it's
well. And
your
I was like,
fault.
oh.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Aisha.uk. I also have a podcast called Aisha Presents, and my second series was on men's mental health. And as we spoke about mental health and mental health in general, you can check that out too. It's on all streaming platforms.
Very nice. And you said your new podcast is coming out soon as well, right?
Yeah, so I did an episode. I recorded an episode with the Bald model. So it'll be called Bald and Beautiful. And it's outside of an actual series. And we talked about mental health and BFRB, which is, the repetitive disorder. So that should be coming out hopefully next week or the week after. I'm just trying to get the artwork for that. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can find us on the socials at unsignedmusic.uk. You can also check out the new station that's coming at futurehits.co.uk. I'm Matt_Wherry. If you're a new band or artist and you haven't submitted music to the show yet, do go to our website, unsignedmusic.uk. Again, it's on there. You can see it on there. Go to that, submit your music, and we could get you on the air as early as next Sunday. There is also a selection now on the new Jot form where you guys can actually tell us a bit about your EP that's coming out, new track that's coming out, or an event you've got coming up as well, and we'll post that on the radio for you for free as long as you have uploaded music to the show. I think that wraps us up. Thank you very much for coming in, Paul.
Thank
Thanks,
you so much
man.
for
Thanks for
coming in.
having
very
me.
much.
Thank you
Aisha,
so much for
a
coming
pleasure.
in.
Thank you for co-hosting.
Oh,
Thank you, Manish, for being here. And thank you all for watching. We will see you next time.
Cool.
The Unsigned Podcast.